I meant to do that. What's up, people? How we do? The regulars are trickling in. What's up? Take two. That's because I'm so excited about the NFL draft tonight. So, how is everybody doing? What's up? Oh boy, all I gotta say is I have a update. Gotta get me out of this jail, bro. They gotta get me out of this jail, bro. Oh boy, how we doing, people? I said hello to pretty much everybody, and that's about it. So let's get a warm up with my boy Judge Simpson, and we will get off to the races very quickly. Let's roll.
Yes, I did. And
but not at the jail.
No, Your Honor.
That's a problem.
Unfortunately, I was not able to reach Mr. Mills prior to seeing him logged into the Zoom today. I did put in the chat for him to call, but he might not have seen that. Yes, Your Honor, he was supposed to turn himself in on the 20th.
Thank you for the donos.
But has
Basia and Amazon Girl.
Yes, sir.
Why haven't you turned yourself in? Your bond's revoked.
I'm aware. I just have a child due on May 2nd. When my child is born, I will turn myself in, sir. I just want to be there for my child's mother when my child is born. That's the only reason I haven't turned myself in, sir. I will turn myself in as soon as my child is born.
Indicate that you're in violation of the court's order.
Thank you, Donna, for the
The
dono.
bench warrant will remain out at no bond. Sooner or later, we'll get you. So, but you want to do that? You want to do it the hard way? Do it the hard way. Because when I get to you, I'm going to do it the hard way. Understand that.
The hard way or
Thank you.
Simpson's
Bench warrant remains
way.
outstanding. No bond.
No bond. See ya.
Mr. Mills, please call the office.
That's the
That
case. People versus Jessica
is
Overbeck.
unbelievable.
Nimish Ganatra for the people.
Did we see this one too? Oh boy, this is a good one too. All right, here we go. Let's do it to it with a little. Let's see. What am I going to do now? I'm going to surprise you guys. We are going to go with a new judge today. I found a new judge.
On the bench warrant, that's 2 days jail.
I like him.
With credit for 2 days.
Saginaw.
Anyone with that last name.
Do we
I
know
take
this
that
guy?
back. It looks like maybe G-A-G-E. G-A-G-E. Court has before it a civil bench
Thank you,
warrant.
Craig.
And sir, you failed to appear for a discovery hearing.
Microphone. Idiot.
You were being sued and you blew off the subpoenas. Why did you blow off the subpoenas?
I didn't know I had one.
What is your current address, sir?
504 South LLP.
Blah, 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 blah.
Okay, that's where we sent the subpoenas were sent to that address, 504 South Elk Street, Bay City, Michigan, 48706.
I don't have an explanation. I really didn't know anything about it. I was really surprised about this warrant. Excuse me.
Well, your first hearing was scheduled on February 6th of 23. You were being sued by a person, last name Mader. You didn't show up for that hearing. And then we tried it again to see if we gave you one more chance. So we rescheduled it for another hearing and you still didn't show up.
I mean, Your Honor, I didn't know anything. I really honestly didn't know anything about this. I really honestly didn't.
I love this defense. I didn't know.
I mean, I go to my court
On
dates.
the-
If I get something with the courts, I take care of the matter.
On the bench warrant, that's gonna be 1 day jail with credit for 1 day. And Judge Jones has a $400 cash bond set in this particular matter. Sir, I guess the problem is, why didn't you just show up to court?
I really did not know I had court. I didn't know. I would have been here. I don't miss court. I don't do that. I don't miss appointments.
Okay, you keep telling me that, but on one of these cases, a process server said that they hand delivered you the paperwork. They gave you the paperwork. I'm looking at the proof of service. It indicates, I'm trying to read the officer's writing, but they indicated they served you at 504 South Elk, Bay City, Michigan. They said they served you personally with your first hearing date at 4:56 p.m. I don't show the exact date that he would have given it to you, but he has February of 23 at 4:56 is the time you were served. And you're saying you didn't get it, but the process server saying that they gave you hand delivered you the paper for your hearing on February 6th that you didn't show up for. And you're saying that that person didn't hand you the paperwork.
Your Honor, could they have handed it to somebody else and said, I'm telling you, I never got any paperwork from anybody about any court hearings.
Okay, and the process server who said he served you, his name is Jim Morris. He's a white male, about 6 feet. Jim is about 6 feet. He's taller than me. So I'm going to say 6'1", roughly anywhere between 180, 210 pounds. So nobody came to your door, knocking on your door at 4:56 and handing you these papers.
I can't picture this guy. I really can't.
Okay. Even though you're saying that the process server didn't show up at your house, we then sent more paperwork to your house. And you didn't come in after we sent the paperwork. Why didn't you show up after we sent the paperwork?
Your Honor, I'm telling you, I swear on everything I love and own, I did not know anything about this court date. I did not know nothing about it. If I would have known, I would have been here. I would have been here.
But that's not making, none of the paperwork came back. None of it came back, said it wasn't served. You're telling me you got none of the mail. You're telling me that the process server his information is not correct because you're saying that he didn't serve you. You're saying that none of this happened, and that's not making sense because I could go with you, sir, if some of the paperwork was coming back undeliverable, but the address that we have is the address you just gave me, and all the paperwork was sent to that address, which is interesting that you're saying you didn't get it and a person didn't serve you.
The only thing I can think is me and my fiance, I've been at this address for over 3 years now. We had a roommate living there that was a little bit disgruntled. We did get him out. Maybe he was intercepting my mail. I don't have any explanation for you why I haven't been here for this. I really don't.
All right, and we got other things for you.
I'm a businessman. I run a business. I'm responsible. I just don't do disappointments like this. I don't do that.
Okay. And even though you're saying you're a businessman, you don't miss appointments.
Do we believe him? He's a businessman. Businessmen don't lie.
But we're going to set a bond because of your failure to appear on.
Thank you, Graham. 2 months, baby.
118. We're going to set a $200 cash bond because you've had multiple chances to appear and you didn't appear. So we're going to set, on the civil case, we're going to set a $200 cash bond. It will be referred back to Judge Jones on this particular case where you were sued by Mr. Mader. Because the lawsuit by Mr. Mader.
Wait, was it Toe Mater? He is a grease monkey. Was it Toe Mater?
Is from.
Come on.
The judgment was
I'm sorry.
December 8th of 22. And you're probably telling me you don't remember being sued also.
Oh,
Now.
grab
We
your
also
membership
have
from Denny.
file number 2017-5440 and 2017-7475. These are failure to pay fees at the jail, booking fees. What the court's going to do, fines and costs on each of these will be suspended. We'll give you credit for 1 day in the county jail. So 1 day jail with credit for 1 day to clean all these things up for you, sir. And we'll get this other matter back to Judge Jones for you. And we'll get the process server in here also. We'll let Judge Jones know that you're saying that no one served you with the paperwork, which we'll see what Mr. Morris says, the process server. He's been around a long time, so we'll see what he says versus what you say. And that'll take care of this matter. Court take up the matter of People versus last name Hegler.
That was great. That was absolutely great. All right, now we have a doozy from our mod with the most. Monica told me, Phil, let's go. Get your button gear. I know it's late. I know you got things to do, but you got to record this right now. And we found Judge Nelson getting ticked off. Judge Nelson from Texas, if you haven't seen him. I see a lot of newbies in the room. If you haven't seen Judge Nelson, he is a trip. And how good was that clip just then and there? I don't know. I saw somebody in the comments said he looks like John Hamm on a bender. John Hamm if he was in The Hangover. All right, here we go. Judge Nelson, not too happy.
Support and medical support using a minimum wage presumption. 1 in, 0 children outside makes our child support $219, medical support of $57. Parties also agreed to the retroactive judgment of $11,040. $11,040 that Mr. Daniel will repay at $106 a month. The parties are also in agreement to be named joint managing conservators. The mother will be primary, and they will communicate through app close. What is contested, Judge, is non-disclosure for the father. He will testify that there was some sort of a children's birthday party that the mother may have yelled at a child at that event, and he's asking for non-disclosure of his address. And further, Judge, it appears that there may be a contested issue as far as possession and access. It's my understanding that Ms. Lee wasn't going to agree to a standard possession order unless he provided his address, as she wants to know where the child is going to be whenever it's not in her care.
All right, folks, let's go ahead and get some testimony. Here's the deal, Mr. Daniel. Every parent has a right to know where the child is, address, so forth and so on. I have to have a legal reason to grant non-disclosure, and those usually revolve around some type of physical threat or possibility of physical harm to the person if that information is given out, either through a third party or the opposing party. So again, the statement I've been making all day long. I know you're not a lawyer, but you got all these items have a legal standard that must be met before I can rule on them. And it's left up to you as your own legal counsel, pro se representative, to give the court that legal theory or that legal information. So at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and swear you both in, get the state to grant, get testimony, and we see where we go with this one. So at this time, I'll ask both you and Ms. Lee to raise your right hands, please. And Ms. Lee, unmute yourself. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're gonna give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
I do.
All right, thank you very much. You're both under oath, and the state may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. State calls Shanice Lee. Miss Lee, could you please state your name for the record?
Shanice Lee.
The name of the child or children in your case?
Amelie Lee.
And your relationship to them?
Mother.
And who is the father?
Alexander Daniel.
And you understood from my opening about the agreements in your case?
Yes.
That y'all would be named joint managing conservators.
Uh-huh.
That you will be the primary custodial parent.
Yes.
And that y'all will be communicating through app close.
Yes.
Ma'am, you understand that the state's using a minimum wage presumption today in calculating retroactive support and current support,
Yes.
and that came out to be $219 for current child support.
Yes.
How does your child have health insurance?
She's on Medicaid right now.
And do you know if Mr. Daniel has any other children outside of this case?
No, I do not.
None that you know of, correct?
No, I don't know anything.
And okay. But you understand that he does not have any children outside of the case? You understand that the state's not giving him a credit for any children outside of the case?
Yep.
Okay. And that makes the guideline medical support $57.
Okay.
And that would make retroactive child support $11,040.
Mm-hmm.
Asking him to pay that at 106.
Yes.
Ma'am, what is your request today in regards to possession and access or visitation?
All I ask is to know where my daughter's at. That's it.
So as long as you know where your daughter is at, you're fine with him getting a standard possession order.
Yes.
If the court today awarded him non-disclosure, what would then be your request in regards to possession and access?
If I do not know where my child is, I do not agree.
Okay. And ma'am, what exactly happened at this child's birthday party?
He walked in with whoever he walked in with. I was in the bathroom the whole time. So to be honest, all I said was, if I don't know you, please leave my house. Other than that, I have no idea what else was. That was all that happened, to be honest.
Okay, and so this event took place at your residence?
Yes, it did.
Okay. And who was the individual that you were speaking to?
I don't know who was at my house at all. He showed
Okay.
up.
Was it a minor or was it an
I have no
adult?
idea. I have no idea.
So did it look like a child?
Ma'am.
No, from what I understand.
It wasn't a child, was it, ma'am?
No, it wasn't. It was an adult, a pregnant woman, from what I understand.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah,
then.
that's who I was
Thank you,
talking
ma'am.
to. Mhm.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And I think that's all the questions I'll have at this point for the witness. Judge, I'll pass the witness.
All right, ma'am, we'll be back in just a moment. State, call your next witness, please.
Thank you. Your Honor, state calls Alexander Daniel. Mr. Daniel, can you please state your name for the record?
Alexander Daniel.
Your relationship to the child?
Father.
And you understood from my opening the agreements in your case?
Yes.
Namely that we are using a minimum wage presumption in calculating your wages for current child support and retro?
Correct.
How many children do you have outside of this case that are biologically yours?
One on the way.
Okay, and when is that child expected to be born?
Any day now.
Okay. And you understand that then the state would request that this be a temporary order, and once that child's born, we could come back in and give you a credit for that child?
Correct.
And by any day, I mean, like, are we talking, it could be tomorrow, or I mean, how far along is?
What's the due date, sir?
The due date is May 7th, but
Okay, thank you.
the doctors are saying that he's probably not gonna make it that far.
And so you
What's up,
understood
Mikey?
that at this point, we are not giving you a credit for any children outside of the case?
Correct.
And that your guideline child support would be $219?
Yes, sir.
And your medical support would be $57 to the state?
Yes, sir.
With a retroactive judgment of $11,040? Asking you to pay that 106?
Yes, sir.
And also that you and the other party are communicating through app close?
Yes, sir.
That you will be joint managing conservators with the other party?
Yes, sir.
And that she will be the primary custodial parent that the child lives with?
Right.
What is your request in regards to possession and access? Are you requesting a standard possession order?
Welcome, flying monkey.
And next, sir, do you have any safety concerns if your telephone number or address were listed in the order today?
Okay, so no, well, I'll let you no.
So you don't have any safety concerns?
Not at this exact moment, no.
Okay, that's all the questions I'll have, Judge. I'll pass the witness.
All right.
All right, folks. Again, sir, I'd have to have a legal standard not to order that information. And again, I know you're not a lawyer, but it takes a lot. So like I said, each parent has a right to know where their kids are. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is going to do a temporary order, naming you both temporary joint managed conservators, giving mom the right to decide domicile. That right's restricted. I'm going to order disclosure on both parts, addresses, information, and telephone numbers included, but y'all to communicate through app close. I'm ordering current child support and current cash medical.
I see you guys are asking where the judge is. Judge Nelson comes on camera sometimes he doesn't. So Judge Nelson, you always hear him. He kind of looks like Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just a little slimmer version. So we call him Judge Uncle Phil. So he'll. I don't think he pops up in this one, but if you subscribe to his channel, you will see him. He's on pretty much most of the time. Sometimes he just likes to chill. He sits back, leans back in his seat, and rocks back and forth. He's very chill. That's why to see him getting upset right now is like crazy. Here we go. Let's roll.
Let's testify to. I'm reducing the judgment, retroactive child support and order repayment as requested and testified to. And I'm going to go ahead and order the standard possession order in accordance with the Texas Family Code at this time. So I'll start with you, ma'am. Any questions, anything else? Again, this is going to be a temp because we have to make sure that the new child is born viable, and it's not a special needs child or need any special circumstances. And then we come back and we'll, after that child has been established as the being dad's, either through an AOP or DNA, then we'll see about setting this up for a final. So at this time, ma'am, any questions, anything else?
No, sir, not at this time.
All right, Mr. Daniel, anything else, sir?
So what you just asked me, were you asking me why I didn't want my address given out, or is that what that question was? Because I was kind of confused by it.
No, your question was, sir, give me a legal reason why you shouldn't. I didn't ask the question, the state did.
Okay.
But is there a reason that you should not grant disclosure, sir?
My reasoning for that is, and the party that was referenced, I actually went to the party with the intentions of disclosing my address because, like, it's been a long time since I.
His deal, sir. I know you're not a lawyer, but going to a party, getting into an argument with the other side.
No, see, that's what I'm trying to explain to you what happened. So, and as far as her saying she wasn't aware of who came or whatever she just said, that's not true because she actually met.
We're not doing that. We're not gonna sit here.
Immediately, folks. Otherwise, I'm looking at jail, and it won't be me. Here's the deal, guys. Mr. Daniel, that's not pertinent. Okay.
Again, no, I'm just trying to give you my side of the story.
Stop. It's not. I didn't listen to her side of the story because it wasn't relevant. Okay. She testified to it, but it is totally irrelevant. I have to have a legal reason not to order disclosure of parents. And neither of you have given me a legal reason yet. If you've got a legal reason, sir, tell me. You've been threatened by her new significant other. There has been family violence against you by someone else that you don't want to know that information. But you need to give me something other than the fact that y'all had a falling out over your new girlfriend here, okay? You're muted, sir. Please unmute yourself.
What I'm trying to say is dealing with the party, but it has nothing to do with me and her. Of what I'm trying to get you to understand, if I could finish what I'm trying to say before being.
No, you cannot. I'm through. I'm a judge. I get to stop stuff that's not relevant to the information of this court.
Yeah, I'm not talking about you.
I'm sorry, sir?
I said I was talking about her interjecting into my conversation because when she talked, I said nothing. So why don't I get that?
It's, again, Mr. Daniel, give me legal information. A disagreement you had with Miss Lee over showing up at a party is not going to get you there. Okay, that's not what I'm needing to hear. I need to hear why you should be allowed not to have your address or disclose your address or information to the mother going forward.
And Judge, if I may, I can briefly recall him to get some testimony.
Okay, well, I won't. Okay, well, do you have any? All right, go ahead. I'll let you recall him and ask him questions. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Daniel, did you file a police report against Miss Lee on that date?
No, sir.
Were you physically assaulted?
No, sir.
Was anyone physically assaulted?
No.
Has Miss Lee committed any family violence against you in the past 2 years?
It depends on what you call family violence.
Have you been physically assaulted in the last 2 years?
Nothing physical. Nothing
Okay.
physical.
Has Miss Lee ever put you in the hospital?
No.
Okay. Have there been any police reports that you've, or not police reports, any protective orders that you've ever gotten against Miss Lee?
No.
Okay, that's all the questions I'll have, Judge. I'll pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Lee, I've counted to 10 now. What do you want to tell the court now, sir?
I mean, I don't know. Y'all, I don't understand how this is going, but I don't have anything to say. I'm gonna let y'all proceed.
All right, sir, if you want, you go ahead and I'll listen to the story about the party, okay? That's what I'll go ahead and give you your 15 minutes, okay? So go right ahead, sir.
Like I said, whenever we pulled up to the party, I called her and let her know I was outside. She came and greeted everyone who came out the car with me, said hello to everyone. Once we got into the party, me and her relatives were outside talking after it was a kids' party. So I brought the kids that already know my daughter and have been asking about her since I haven't been able to see her. So after all of that, all the kids were playing. Me and her family member was talking. Next thing you know, she gets to screaming, cussing out the window at the kids to get out the bouncy house, basically saying if she doesn't know you, to take your ass home, cussing at these kids. I had to try to control the situation to make sure that no one felt offended, even though she didn't come out and direct
Get out of the goddamn bouncy house!
What she was saying to who she was saying it to. She did all of this throughout the window before she sent one of her friends out to come tell me to basically I had to leave her party about whoever was there with me. When as soon as we come in the house, her significant other, boyfriend, whatever
What's up,
he is,
Les?
who we also talked, shook hands, and was being able to be around each other without it being no issue. Her only issue was being that I had someone there with me, and she's saying she didn't know that I had another kid. She knew because she seen that day.
Okay,
So,
good. So you
so my whole point is I don't want the address
Flying
given
monkey
because I have
VIP
kids here that I have to
nerd.
protect. They're not mine, but they are mine because I'm here with them, and I have a duty to protect them as if they were mine. So you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, you have not given me any testimony to show that under any circumstances the mother ever placed you or these children in any type of physical danger. Do you have any such information, sir?
Like I said, nothing physical.
All right. So I want y'all definitely communicating through app close. But for right now, again, there's not been a legal standard met for non-disclosure at this time. So both parties are ordered to keep
Welcome,
each
Matt
other
Harris
informed
Law.
of their physical addresses and where the child's residing. And they're setting this up as a temp. And I'll look at coming back in about 90 days to see what Mr. Daniel does as far as that unborn child is concerned. Sir, if you're going to sign an acknowledged paternity or get DNA testing on that child, we need to know about it. But until then, I'm finding that there's only one child that's before the court this time, and no others anywhere else. And I'll reset this matter for one of our August dates to see what happens with that second child, to see what we're going to do one way or the other. So, Thursday, August the 10th looks like a good one, Mr. Morgan. Thank you.
That was a goodie. Okay, we have to preface this. People. So, this is Judge O'Brien's court. About a month and a half ago, I had this date marked down. He had to have a competency hearing. If you're new to this channel, I am going to put part 1 and part 2 together. This just happened today around 5 o'clock. If you've seen it, if you've been with me from the beginning, you got to remember, got to get me out of that jail, bro. Got to get out of the jail, bro. Mr. Mark Austin, he has his second court date, and we are privy to it. Does he say get me out of the jail, bro? I don't know either, because I haven't seen this. I set it to record, and I had to leave. So let's see. Let's see, people. Judge O'Brien, get me out of this jail, bro. Welcome to all the new people in the house. We got a lawyer in the house doing some family law. Maybe having a little guest star on here. Having him and my VIPs up in here. Let's go.
Or competency. Dobie?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Having reviewed that report, I would ask for those same orders and any necessary orders regarding his compliance with treatment, the things that are contained in the standard scale form order for someone who is incompetent to stand trial but restorable.
Okay, so are you both stipulating that the report is sufficient for me to make that finding, and I can rely on the report dated April 14th,
O'Brien has horrible sound too. I'm trying to fix it.
2023, from Robert Turnbull, the licensed psychologist at the center?
I do, Your Honor, and I ask that you admit that as the only exhibit in this hearing.
There we go.
Mr. Overwater?
I agree, Your Honor, and I would ask the same thing.
Okay, so I will admit the report from Robert Turnbull, PhD, from the Center for Forensic Psychiatry, and based upon that report, I am finding that Mr. Austin is incompetent at this time to stand.
Incompetent to stand trial, people. Did we think anything less? Actually, some of us, when I put a poll up, some of us thought he was milking it. He's incompetent.
Trial, however, if provided an adequate course of treatment,
very cool, Toby. There we go.
Of attaining trial competence within the time provided by law. So I will sign an order that I'll ask you to prepare, Mr. Overwater.
Allison, what's up?
Defendant is incompetent.
Stephanie!
But with that substantial probability to attain competence, and I will order that the State Department of Mental Health is appointed medical supervisor of his course of treatment and shall fulfill all requirements established by law. He shall undergo treatment to render him competent to stand trial. Commitment is necessary for the effective administration of the course of treatment, and therefore he should be placed at the Center for Forensic Psychiatry. And if he needs transport, the sheriff shall transport him to and from the facility upon notification of the center. Anything further? Anything further then for today?
No, Your Honor, I'll prepare those orders.
Excuse.
Yes.
I'd like to apologize to the court and to this woman here on my behalf about the incidents. But can you guys go over, basically, can you all summarize what's going on?
Okay. Well, I have just referred you to the Center for Forensic Psychiatry, and they can help you.
Allison Barnes, thank you very much. Oh, 4-hour flight. Be safe. Thank you for the dono.
So that your competency can be restored, and then these cases will be able to proceed.
Not
so. When should I put these back on our docket, counsel?
And also, I would like to also add that I fired Kenneth Overwater 4 times. And he's still trying to represent me.
Okay. Well, we're going to work on restoring your competency first, Mr. Austin, and then we can talk about those other issues once your competency has been restored.
Thank you for the dono, Amazon girl.
So,
Your Honor, I would suggest just setting a date out in 60 days with the understanding that it's likely to be adjourned, just depending on communication from the Forensic Center.
Can we talk about the hospital? Can we talk about the hospital and these documentation that was forged, bro, that caused me to get shot, that's causing police brutality? Cause at the end of the day, man, y'all had the power to get me out this jail. And a lot of this stuff that got me victimized, wouldn't have happened to me. Y'all would have just let me go.
There it is! We got one! He's heavily medicated, but we got one! Get me out of this jail, bro!
They said the case wasn't even real. It was a false arrest. Like, I got this book in here, man. I ain't sure if y'all read it, but it's called The Gun, man. Y'all should read it. A lot of stuff.
And he burped!
Me in jail wouldn't have happened if y'all would have just let me go, man.
June 29th.
Okay.
I agree, Your Honor.
Okay, so I am adjourning your cases to June 29th at 1:30. We'll see you back here then, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
So he fired Overwater, his attorney. They still got him in this jail, bro. And we got a burp. The medication's working. He cut it down. He cut it down about 90%. We still got one though. All we needed is one. And I think this even gets better. This clip gets better. I think we got another guy in this one. So we're gonna keep it right here.
Sean, right?
Yes, please.
The next round. All right, come on over here.
Oh yeah. I got back to the house. This is a good one too. Okay.
No, you're helping. All right, there you go.
Oh boy.
Okay, Mr. Veeder, can you hear us? Okay, today is the time and date set for your sentencing. You do have a right to a in-person sentencing. We're proceeding by Zoom today. Do you have any objection to proceeding in this manner?
It's just that the internet connection's not stable.
So,
Your Honor, I don't intend to proceed to sentencing today. Could we have a bench conference?
Sure.
I want to speak for myself. The internet connection is not stable, and I want to meet in person.
Okay, your attorney has asked for a bench conference, and that's what we're going to do next. Just a moment, and we'll be back with you, Mr. Veeder.
Look at Mr. Veeder styling and profiling. What is going on? They could at least taken the camera off. Bad for us. Bad for them, good for us. He's dead. What is he thinking about right now? Can't wait for the bologna sandwich later. I wonder if my man is coming to Gen Pop today. Oh, baby. Can't. This is fantastic. What is he doing? If he licks his goes like that, I'm out. We're out. He's got his eye on me. I know, Lawrence. I may have to take. What do they take? Take the. I'm gonna take the lining out of my pocket. I'm taking. Judge DeSanto may get a little upset. She sees I'm cheating on her in the clink. How long is O'Brien doing this to this poor guy? He loves the spotlight, though. I'll tell you, he knows we're watching him. Look, he knows. Oh, he's pondering. Oh, I love seeing people ponder. He's pondering, people.
And before we can proceed,
okay, there we go.
So I'm going to adjourn to next week at 2:00, and that May 4th. Yes, Mr. Peter?
Thank you. I was wondering why is I'm not able to contact Laura Yagi, who was my original lawyer on the case. I asked Mr. Overwater, was it, that if you could contact her by email to verify that she signed when I first was arrested and I was in custody on February 7th and 8th. I forget what year it was, like 2 or 3 years ago, that I was arrested for this graffiti case. That she said the machines at the parking structure were still working the next day and could verify it. And Mr. Overwater failed, he neglected to even email her, and all this time he didn't do anything to contact her to verify that the machines were still working, which would just make it a misdemeanor graffiti charge, not a souped up felony graffiti charge. So if I have a felony on my record, I can't get a real job. And if he's not even gonna do his job to represent me, can I get real legal counsel? If he's not gonna advocate for me, maybe Michael Dobie could represent me. And I heard anything about how we were gonna drop it to one case, not double jeopardy on 2 cases they brought up. I don't think Nick's pressed charges against, I don't think.
Double jeopardy on a graffiti case? Double jeopardy?
I think the caravan shop brought up charges again. I'm just saying that, I'm just putting it out for the record, but I will be, I'll be glad to. Maybe we can meet in person, perhaps, if possible. I'd be glad to meet in person, because the internet connection is not very stable in the jail.
So Mr. Overwater is a real attorney, and I'm adjourning your case for 1 week, and we can discuss some of your concerns at another date. Thank you.
Do I have a bond? I was just wondering. Have a nice day. Take care.
Thanks, Peter.
Two, 3, 8, 5, 8. And detective, your name for the record, please.
Detective Michael McDonald, McDonald.
All right, thank you. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, thank you. You may proceed on the warrant.
Yes, ma'am. On April 25th of this year at approximately 8:09 hours, officer responded to 17504 Ford Street, apartment 228 in Riverview, Michigan, for a report of a domestic violence disturbance and a report at a male had stabbed a dog in the residence. Per the initial officer's report, they were dispatched to the Huntington South Apartments for domestic assault. Dispatch notified officers that a male had a knife in a female's apartment and that the male had just stabbed the dog and was threatening to stab the caller. Lieutenant Mandernack arrived first on scene, shortly by officers Mandernack and Hughes. Hughes made first contact with the caller, who is identified as complainant Kenesha Sweat, who exited the apartment. Officers Alderman and Mandernack went to the apartment with the defendant, which is Jeremy Lockett, whom is Sweet's husband of 2 years. Officer Alderman attempted to question the defendant about the incident, but he was irate and refused to answer any questions about the incident. Officer Hughes notified the Alderman that defendant Lockett had committed an assault on complainant Sweat. Defendant Lockett was advised to turn around and place his hands behind his back. He refused at first, but complied later and was placed under arrest. Lieutenant Mandernack and Officer Schramm remained on scene and interviewed complainant Sweat and had her complete a written statement. Complainant Sweat's statement states that she and defendant Lockett went to the liquor store and purchased alcohol. Complainant Sweat stated that when they arrived home, defendant was drinking and things escalated, and the defendant began screaming at her and calling her names and making threats to kill her. The complainant stated that the defendant continued to drink and things continued to escalate. complaint stated that Mr. Lockett grabbed a knife near the window air conditioning unit and threw it at her, striking a bedroom wall over her head. The complainant stated that the defendant continued to make threats and verbally argue with her. Defendant then threw a glass beer bottle against the same bedroom wall. Defendant attempted to grab his property and was upset he was unable to find it. The defendant let 2 dogs out of the spare bedroom. One of the dogs was in the defendant's way. The defendant then grabbed the dog and stabbed it with a knife. The complainant stated that defendant Lockett chased the other dog into the living room and had stabbed the dog as well. Defendant also made verbal statements that the defendant wrapped a leash around her neck and began to choke her with the leash during the altercation. A large abrasion was observed on the complainant's neck and photographed. I was contacted as the on-call detective for this incident, and I arrived on scene and processed and collected evidence from the scene of the incident. I interviewed complainant Sweat regarding the incident, and she stated that the two got into an argument over relationship issues, and that while in the bedroom, the defendant threw a black, red, and blue folding knife into the north wall. She advised that she retrieved the knife and walked out of the room. She stated that after things began to calm down, she gave the knife back, and the defendant did not leave. She stated that the argument began to escalate again, and that she tried to walk out of one of the bedrooms when she was blocked by the defendant. She stated that she tried to push him to get him out of the way. He pushed her back, and that she was eventually able to slide past him into the hallway. She then stated that the defendant Lockett grabbed a leash from the bedroom, said, quote, "I swear I'll kill you," quote, before putting the leash around her neck and, quote, started to squeeze it, end quote. Sweet then fell into the south bedroom dresser, which damaged the blinds in the dresser, and then Sweet then fell back into the hallway where she was able to get free. She then advised that at that point they were in the hallway and one of the pit bulls named Po Boy or Po Baby got in between them during the argument. She stated that the defendant, quote, said, "F this dog," end quote, and then, quote, "I'm going to kill this dog." The defendant then pulled out a knife. Sweet stated that she turned around during this and did not see what happened, but when asked if it sounded like he was going to stab the dog, she said yes. I asked if it was the same knife we located in the residence, and she said yes. She then contacted the police, and then the pit bull, poor baby, ran over to her at that point, and she noticed that he was bleeding and had an injury. Detective Lyles attempted to interview the defendant, who denied these allegations. Upon an inquiry of Mr. Lockett's criminal history, back in 1998, he does have a
Welcome to the nerd herd again, Jen.
Murder, in which a pled guilty plea was entered.
All right, thank you. Upon examination.
Brutal.
I find the offenses charged were committed, that there's probable cause of the defendant to commit those offenses. Counsel, your appearance, please.
Your Honor, good afternoon. Richard T. Serrano, P33828, appearing on behalf of the defendant. I appear via Zoom. My client appears as he's in custody presently. We have no objection to that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Lockett, your name for the record, please.
Jeremy Lockett.
All right. Counsel, as to the arraignment.
Your Honor, if the court pleases, we'd like a formal reading of each and every count.
Okay.
She's like, brace yourself. I didn't hear the counts.
The court
Here we
will
go.
indicate that it's alleged as to count 1, assault with intent to create bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation, that on April 25th, 2023 in the city of Riverview, That defendant did make an assault upon Kenesha Lasha Sweat by strangulation or suffocation contrary to MCL 750.84. This is a felony charge. The maximum penalty upon conviction is not more than 10 years in prison or a $5,000 fine. DNA to be taken upon arrest. Consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750.506A if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. The complaint also alleges as to count 2, animals, killing, torturing, first degree. Now, on the same date and location, the defendant did or did threaten to commit a reckless act, knowing or having reason to know that the act will cause the animal to be killed, tortured, mutilated, maimed, or disfigured. A companion animal with the intent to cause mental suffering or distress to a person or to exert control over a person. This is contrary to MCL 750.50B(3). This is also a felony charge. Not more than 10 years in state prison and or a $5,000 fine. Consecutive sentence may be imposed for any other conviction. Not more than 500 hours community service. Court may
No
order
problem,
psychiatric evaluation, may order cost of prosecution, care, housing, or veterinary care as applicable, may be ordered not to own or possess an animal. Count 3, assault with a dangerous weapon.
No, guys, the one dog, the dog died. I think the dog died. Killed, because she said killed the dog, because I thought they were giving murder charges on him for a person, but then it was, he attempted to stab the girl, but killed the dog.
Also known as felony assault. The complaint alleges on the same date and location, defendant did make an assault upon Kenesha Lasha Sweat with a dangerous weapon, to wit, a knife, but without intending to commit the crime of murder or to inflict great bodily harm less than the crime of murder. Contrary to MCL 750.82, this is a felony charge. The maximum penalty upon conviction is not more than 4 years in state prison and or a $2,000 fine. DNA to be taken upon arrest. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750.506A if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Count 4, domestic violence. The complaint alleged on the same date and location, defendant did make an assault or assault and battery upon Kenesha Lasha Sweat, his spouse, contrary to MCL 750.81(2). This is a misdemeanor charge. The maximum penalty upon conviction is not more than 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750.506A if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Habitual offender second offense notice. Take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of a felony or an attempt to commit a felony, and that on or about June 7, 2001, he was convicted of the offense of assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation in violation of MCL 750.84 in the Third Circuit Court for the County of Wayne, State of Michigan. Therefore, defendant is subject to the penalties provided by MCL 769.10. That penalty being 1 1/2 times the maximum sentence on primary offense or a lesser term. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for first conviction. Counsel, are you satisfied with the reading? Counsel, are you satisfied with the reading of the complaint?
Why do you make her read all those?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just trying to help him or hurt him?
As the court's going to indicate, Mr. Lockett, you have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint one to represent you.
Awful.
Yes, I want to appoint attorney lawyer.
Yes, sir. The court has had an attorney here for you to speak to today. The court has also signed the petition in order for court-appointed attorney for felony purposes. The court will also indicate, sir, that you have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you in court. Do you understand that, sir? Court's going to enter plea of not guilty on your behalf. Schedule this matter for probable cause conference on May 4th at 9 a.m.
May 4th, we'll be there.
Court has also signed the notice
Next
to
week.
official.
Mark it down.
That's the prosecuting attorney as well. Counsel will respond, and then I will have the detective respond.
Your Honor, I have interviewed my client. He tells me he is presently not on probation or parole. He's under no court's jurisdiction for any matters. He has nothing pending, Your Honor. The court has his prior history. He did tell me that he was convicted in 1998 or thereabouts of the felony aforementioned. I will note that he tells me it's not the same alleged victim who is now his present wife. But be that as may, Your Honor, they are both crimes of violence. We would ask the court to consider a bond he can reasonably expect to post.
You
And,
guys
Your
are living
Honor,
with a guy like this?
I told him about what I'm sure the court is going to order, no contact, and I will leave that to the court's discretion. Thank you.
All right, we are gonna we're gonna lighten up the mood before we get into our TPO. Why did I record this?
Thank
you
Your
like
Honor.
this game.
The report is recommending a period of probation for Mr. Barnes to maybe make him a little bit more aware of the, I guess, seriousness of what took place and his involvement in the facts that resulted in these convictions. Mr. Barnes does accept responsibility for what he did. He got a little long-winded on explaining his rationale or factual, more of a factual situation of what he thinks took place on this night. But I believe that a period of probation, maybe not a year, with the terms requested are reasonable, and request this court honor the Killebrew for no upfront jail time.
Did your client want to make a statement for himself today?
He's got his best shirt on.
Mr. Barnes, is there anything you'd like to address with the court?
That instant afterwards, I think about it all the time, and I feel very bad about it. In fact, lately, I talked to my family about it.
Is that a Toy Story shirt? He's wearing Woody from Toy Story shirt. Court. I don't even know what's going on. I don't care. He's got a Woody shirt. Thanks a lot, Woody.
Mr. Ring, did you want to put your appearance on the record?
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
Oh, he's not talking because people are looking at him. This is Woody, so he's just still. Here we go, TPO time, people. Now,
I'm going to do this. Is
now,
I will swear both parties in.
before we get into this, I didn't know if that was a woman on top. So she's non-binary or whatever she is. I'm not up with those terms, but I think that's a woman. I'm pretty sure. Help me out. I'm very bad at that game. So let's do it to it. TPOMG. Judge Woke is on it. She's got the librarian look going on. Here yes, with the hat on. So she's quite manly. Here we go. It is what? A man or a woman, Kitch?
Petitioner will go first because she bears the burden in this case. And can result.
I don't want to hear you yelling that I'm speeding it up and all that stuff. I wanted to get the whole case, which I did. It's a two-parter. I got the whole case for you.
Resulting criminal contempt consequences for the unauthorized.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question, ma'am.
Yes.
When you came back on the thing, it got recording and a little.
No, so it's internal. It's not. That's the internal system for the court. It's not. Yes, thank you. Yes. No, this means people out in there. People where nobody can record. That's just a prompt that it's internally our Zoom is doing that. But it's yes. Thank you for alerting me to that though. Yes, but any unauthorized and Tunisia Brockington are legally married. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and how long have y'all been married?
We got married April 13, 2000, the baby.
What? Okay, but if y'all are living in the same residence, hold on. I want to make sure everyone understands. At some point, if y'all are living in the same residence, it's still her residence, regardless of who owns it. All right. I want to make sure the parties understand that.
Okay.
Okay. So, but you're saying you have any visible injury from that?
I was swollen for a couple of days.
Was it?
Recently, I got the card. It's over there in my wallet. She punched me in my face. She, stabbed me before.
Okay,
She
hold on,
stabbed
hold
me
on, hold
before.
on. When you say she punched you in the face, around when was that?
Let me get the
You
card.
don't have to be exact. You can give me approximate.
It was right before the TPO. Well, I was doing the time. Hold on.
Was it this year, 2023?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you have any visible injury from that?
I was swollen for a couple of days.
Was anybody around when that happened?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who was there?
Her kids.
And what led up, like, what led up to that happening?
I wasn't paying her no attention. When she don't have a way, like I said, when she don't have a way, she terrorized me in this house. And it's like I'm not, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells every time I come in the house. She have a problem with me coming in the room to change my clothes, and that is our room. Since you said it's our house, you understand what I'm saying? So when I come in there, it's always a problem. She does a lot. And I have witnesses on the phone. I don't know if you can click them in.
We'll get to that in just a moment.
Okay.
So you said she stabbed you. When did that happen?
That happened 2000. I can't remember, but she went to jail behind it. It should pop up in y'all records because somebody else pulled it up when I said it.
So
the women.
Yeah. So hold on. So I don't search. I don't do my own investigation.
Yeah. I understand.
So was that here in DeKalb?
Yes, it was here at this residence.
Okay. And was it?
And she also has bipolar. She don't take her medicine.
Okay.
So when she don't take her medicines, I get the end of the stick. And then not only that, she drinks and she smokes marijuana on top of that.
Okay.
So you can't mix an upper with a downer.
Okay.
So that's a problem right there within itself.
Okay. So tell me, do you know if you said she was arrested? Do you know if she's still out on bond on that case in DeKalb, or what's happened with that case?
I think they threw it out.
Okay.
It's over with now. They threw it out.
Okay. Did you have any involvement?
So.
Did you ever speak with a victim advocate? Did you have any involvement in that case? Okay. Would you say that was recently, or was it like a year ago, or?
It was like 2018.
Okay. Okay. And then you said that she punched you in the face. Was there anything before that?
She's always terrorizing me. Right before they came and picked her up, she was threatening me the day before with a broom, trying to hit me with a broom. It always her kids trying to stop everything every time when she nets up on me. I mean, because the whole thing is I don't pay her no attention. So when I do that, it's a problem.
All right. Who
And then she also says that before I leave you, you're gonna kill yourself before I leave you. I cannot have her around me, period. I am traumatized with her.
Right.
And she need to get her kids.
Well, I don't know that that's something that's not necessarily.
Because
I'm letting you know that is not something that may necessarily be addressed in this order. If I issue one. That's going to have to be something with possibly law enforcement or Department of Family and Children's Services, but I cannot direct someone to get their child from someone, especially if that child's been living in that residence. Okay. I'm just letting you know.
So even the minor child, even the 17-year-old?
I don't have
because she's supposed to have. I'm sorry, Judge. I'm not trying to cut you out. Hear me out. When they came and picked up the mother, when I took out the TPO, they told me that they was gonna get her and the kids that's 17 years old and under. I understand with the 19-year-old, the 20-year-old don't live here. I understand with the 19-year-old that I have to take out a whole separate thing, evict him.
Yes.
So the 17-year-old was supposed to go with her. Why she's still here, she's another problem.
I understand, and that may be another problem that has to be dealt with in a different order, but for this, it may not be dealt with. Is that the main reason you're filing?
It's everything.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Her and the kids tried to jump me. I got witnesses.
Okay, and I'm gonna get to your witnesses, okay? I'm just letting you know what my legal authority is for the family violence intervention, all right? And as it relates to her, not necessarily her children, okay? Which could be an issue for other forms, but not necessarily for this one. I'm just looking at the ex parte order. Okay, so how many times in the past year would you say she has been violent with you?
About half of the year, honestly. Half of the year.
How often a week?
Before she got the TPO, it been like every day for the last week prior to when because I begged them to send me the TPO through the email. That's just how much I was being terrorized.
Okay. Who pays the mortgage?
My dad.
Okay, and whose name is the house in?
My name.
Okay. Who pays the utilities?
Me.
All right. All right. What about cars? Do y'all each have your own car?
I got my own vehicle. She don't have a car.
Okay.
And that's in my name.
Okay.
Everything is in my name. Nothing is in her name.
Okay. And I'm just saying for purposes of this order, has anybody filed for divorce at this point?
I went down there to file for divorce the next day after she got escorted off the premises.
Okay.
It was the wrong papers. So now I got to refile again. But we both signed the papers and it was notarized.
Okay. What I'm asking is because long term, that sort of stuff has to be resolved in the divorce family court.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking. Okay. All right. So you said you have a witness you would like me to hear from that may have been with Rachel.
I believe that should be the P. Let me make sure that I got this named right.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah. Okay.
Oh Lord, I can't hear.
Your right hand.
Hello.
Yes. Could you please raise your right hand for me?
Wait a minute. I'm trying to.
There we
can't
go.
see you.
Okay. Well, we can see you and your hand raised. I don't know why your video. You might need to swipe left or right.
I can't see.
Just hit your video, Rachel.
I think her video's on. Uh-oh. Hold on. Yeah, she's still on. So, ma'am, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
And
I do.
Thank you. You can lower your hand and can you please state your full name for the record?
Trying to get my earpiece together. I can't hear.
Take your earpiece out.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to get this thing together. Oh Lord. Oh.
That's not a good look.
Take the earpiece out.
Matt Harris, good seeing you, buddy. Come back, my man.
She's not muted, but the Bluetooth sometimes interferes with the connectivity.
Take the Bluetooth off, Rachel.
All right, we cannot hear when you have your earbuds in.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to get it, Your Honor.
Take it off. Take it off.
Huh?
Can you hear us at this time?
I can't see.
Hold on, ma'am. Ma'am, you
you're
can't.
Very low. You're very low, but I'm trying.
Okay, so I think that might be your volume because we can all hear each other pretty well. So, ma'am, I'm going to ask you, can you please state your full name?
Rachel Yolanda Postel.
Okay, and how do you know Miss Gwendolyn Brockington?
Gwendolyn is my sister, my baby sister.
All right. So, Gwendolyn, Petitioner Brockington, I will ask you to ask any questions you have of your witness. You just need to unmute. Let me prompt you to unmute. There we go.
Oh no, I can't hear this. Okay.
Rachel.
I can't hear.
Take the Bluetooth off.
It is off. It ain't even on.
Put it on speaker. Put the phone on speaker.
Okay, I got it. I can't see, but I can hear. Go ahead.
Who has
okay, look.
temper issues?
What have been going on in this household?
It's been a mess. It's been a mess. It's been a mess from they've been together 5 years. However, well, I thought it was 5.
Okay, so you can't. So don't. You can ask questions. Wait a minute. You may ask questions, but don't correct her. All right.
Okay.
She asked
All right,
questions.
cool.
Just let her testify. All right. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, it's been a mess. However, when they first got together, everything was okay. And far as them getting together, they met on some kind of chat line or whatever, back street line, something. I don't know what it is. But anyway, however, at the time when she
What?
first met this young lady, she had a daughter. She knew she had a daughter. Maybe she talked about her other kids, but she had a daughter with her at that time. And at that time, they were staying with the cousins. She was living with cousins or something like that. However, they was in the process of, I think, losing the place where they were
Okay, so
staying.
hold on. So this is what I'm going to ask. I know I'm going to ask you to focus it a little bit on acts of
Shut
family
up, lady.
violence you have witnessed by the respondent towards the petitioner, your sister.
Okay, police has come out. It's like every day or every other day or every week. A lot of hollering and stuff in
The police's.
house. The kids are very disrespectful.
Oh,
Very
Okay, so
Damn
the
kids.
disrespectful part's not as much of family violence. I'm talking about acts of violence or threats of violence that the
Well,
respondent may have committed, not her children, but her towards the petitioner.
Well, I haven't known my sister to threaten her or anything. Nobody didn't
No,
say
no,
that.
I'm saying the other way around.
No, she's saying Nisa threatened me.
Have you witnessed any acts of violence by Tanisha Brockington towards Gwendolyn Brockington?
Trying to beat her with a broom.
Around when was that?
I want to say maybe about a month ago.
And what was going on when
You're
that
good,
started
Lisa.
happening?
I think my sister. Well, no, I didn't. I'm not gonna say I think my sister stayed out overnight because she was out like 3 or 4 days. This was around my Easter time. She stayed out or whatever, like 3 or 4 days or whatever. When my sister stayed out, she came back to the house and she approached my sister as far as her being out, out of the house overnight or whatever
All right.
with a broom.
Okay. And did you witness that?
I did not witness that. That was told to my mom.
Okay. So I need to know about things you have witnessed or heard from out of the respondent's mouth.
I can't recall anything right now, but it have happened. I haven't recalled anything right now.
All right. Petitioner Brockington, do you have any questions for her about anything she has witnessed or observed?
No, let's go to the next person, Cortez.
Okay, hold on.
That's
I got
who-
it. So the respondent Brockington, Tanisha Brockington, gets to ask some questions if she has any. Respondent Brockington, I'm going to unmute you for a second.
Who, me?
No, ma'am, you stay with us for just one moment. All right. Do you have any questions you would like me to ask this witness?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. What question would you? And let me say this before we get. So remember, questions are not the time to testify or to say I don't agree. They're just specific fact
I got
questions.
you. I got you.
I understand. I'm just making sure everybody knows because there's going to be questions, I'm sure, in the future. So, all right, go ahead.
My first question is, have she ever saw me touch her sister?
All right, ma'am.
Gwendolyn Brockington.
Ma'am, have you ever seen Tanisha Brockington touch your sister?
I have not. I have not.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, ma'am?
And you asked her, you said this is just pertaining to family, the violence.
Yes.
Okay. Have she ever heard her sister say things to me in violence?
No, I have not.
Okay. I'll let her answer that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right, ma'am, you are excused. And we will bring in the next witness.
Oh, just wait till we see the
What, do I
next
hang up or
witness.
do I say?
You can just log off
I
or
don't
hang
think,
up.
just when you think it couldn't get any
Whatever the
better,
options are.
it does.
I see we have Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson, did you have an announcement for me on anything?
Yes, Judge, I have a few announcements for you.
Okay. We'll do that while we're getting the other witness.
Okay.
And
Ready?
actually, just one moment. We're going to take one quick break.
Did we get it? Yes, he did.
We are now petitioner's witness 2. Sir, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the
Yeah,
testimony
my
you're about
mother
to
used to
give
chase me with a broom too,
truth, the whole
Pop.
truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
What's up?
All right, thank you.
Oh,
You may lower
look
your
at
hand. Can you
him!
state your full name, please, for the record?
Cortez Brockington.
What's up,
And
Cortez?
how do you know Gwendolyn Brockington?
She's my aunt.
Okay. And how do you know Tanisha Brockington?
She's married to my aunt, as far as I know.
Okay. And have you witnessed any acts of violence or threats of violence by the respondent, Tanisha Brockington, towards Gwendolyn Brockington?
Visually, no, but I've witnessed and I know of several instances of violence. Yes.
How do you know of these incidents?
Just overhearing phone calls, things going on in the background, and yelling and screaming and all of this, and like I said, phone calls.
When you say calls and things going on in the background, are you hearing things in the background?
Yes, I'm hearing screaming, I'm hearing yelling, I'm hearing, just a lot of commotion that sounds like altercation.
And what sort of things are you hearing screamed?
Well, I can't in detail tell you what I've heard screamed. It's been so many instances, Judge.
All right, hold on. Okay, so the respondent.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not you. Tanisha Brockington, you have gotten up and left the screen. Okay. Y'all have to be present this whole time? Okay, go ahead. So what were you saying, sir?
Like I said, I can't verbatimly tell you what I've heard, word for word, but I've heard a lot of commotion. And this has been a reoccurring thing for some time now. I try to, stay out of people's affairs, but my mom is her sister, which I think you already spoke with her sister, Rachel Postel, and her mother, which is my grandmother, is not able to get on the call because she doesn't know how to work the Zoom meeting. But anyway, I've overheard a lot of phone calls, countless phone calls of the same situation.
At any point in these, does any party or person sound distressed and upset?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So who is the distressed and upset person you are hearing?
Well, the distressed and upset person that I'm hearing is normally the one yelling all the time is normally my aunt by marriage, Tanisha, and the one that's upset obviously is both of them for whatever the reason is. And I mean, I don't know if one side of the story is told because we're the family on this side, and it's another side that's not told. I'm not sure about it, but I know it's always commotion.
Okay. Have you ever witnessed any injuries or evidence after any incidents?
I haven't. I live in Atlanta, so I've heard about things. So I can't say that I've witnessed it. I've seen anything. I live a great distance. I'm not out of town, but I live not down the street from them. But I've heard about different things going on in the house, things being thrown and things being damaged and all of this kind of stuff. But I don't know. I didn't see it, so I don't know how true.
Okay.
It is.
Gwendolyn Brockington, do you have any specific questions you would like to ask this witness?
The last incident, hey Cortez.
Hey.
The last incident when you came out here and I told you I was punched in the face and it was swollen.
Mm-hmm. Yes, your face was swollen. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the last witness that you seen. I mean, you didn't see it happen,
No,
Make
but
it
I
a
did.
question. Just make it a question. Don't tell him what he saw. Ask him.
Right. Yeah. No, I did not see it happen, Your Honor. I did, but I did see her with the swollen face.
Okay.
Yeah.
What part of the face?
Her up in this area, her cheek.
Okay. Any other questions you have for him, ma'am? Gwendolyn Brockington?
No.
All right. All right. So Tanisha Brockington, do you have any questions for this witness?
No, ma'am.
All right. May he be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, sir. Thank you. You may log off. Thank you for being here.
No problem.
All right. Petitioner Gwendolyn Brockington, do you have any other evidence you would like the court to consider?
No, it's on my phone, but I suppose I had reading through the information I probably had downloaded it 24 hours prior to the court.
Yeah, there were instructions when you get your initial ex parte order that tells you how to submit stuff if you want the court to consider it. So have you submitted anything up to this point?
No, I haven't, because I was reading it while I was on hold.
Okay. Always good to read ahead of time, just FYI when it comes to court.
Yeah, that part I know now.
I get it. Okay. All right. So Miss Tanisha Brockington, you've heard the allegations. What would you like the court to know?
First of all, every last one of them need to be for perjury because every last one of them lied.
Okay, so I hear that, but I need your testimony about facts.
I've submitted a lot of evidence. Would you like to start back when we first started talking?
So when it gets to evidence, some of it may be admissible and some of it may not. So I just need evidence around any family
It
matters
is.
that
It's
are
all around her.
Hold on. And about allegations against you and how these may be relevant to that. Okay. So some stuff may, some stuff may not. So you just have to tell me what it is that you want me to look at and what you might
Okay.
pull up.
The first thing I would like you to look at is the court order. That's number one.
What
It
court order?
says that
Hold on, ma'am. What court order?
this TPO order.
What about it?
It says that it was temporarily for me to leave only with my clothes. Gwendolyn violated that. She sold my dog. It says in drawn and restrained response from selling, disposing, and encumbering, trading, contacting to sell otherwise disposable or removal. This is on the order.
So ma'am, hold on. Have you filed anything in regard to this order?
Yes, ma'am, I did. Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you file a contempt?
Yes, ma'am, I did file a contempt.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So here's what I'm going to tell you. Her being in contempt of this order is not necessary evidence of whether you have committed an act of family violence against her.
I
I understand that I understand that you're bringing this to the court's attention, but I'm also asking about the allegations of the history of violence.
Of her?
Yes.
It's me. I'm the victim. Ma'am, I took my first drink. I've never drunk in my life at 38 years old. Ma'am, it is her. I take my medicine every day. Okay? I do have a history of bipolar. So I do anxiety. So I do take my medicine every day. And if you was, like I said, go back to the first, the picture when she threw a chair. I had several witnesses and he bust my eye. It's a picture.
So listen, hold on.
She bust my eye with the chair.
Ma'am, hold on. I do not look at evidence unless and until it is submitted. Y'all submit stuff to the court, but the court doesn't go in and look at this evidence ahead of time, and that's not allowed. So when was this chair incident that you were alleging when she was violent against you?
It was Mother's Day 2017.
So you're saying there was an incident in 2017?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What about since then?
Since then, Gwendolyn has a very bad alcoholic problem. So when she drinks, it's always, she provokes us. We don't provoke her.
So you're saying she provokes you to act a certain way?
She provokes, she won't stop. She calls me out my name. She tells me I'm not worth nothing. She even had sex while I was at home, sleep in the bed with another woman.
So that's not, well, infidelity maybe.
Yes.
Well, that's not.
This all happened while I was in the home.
I'm saying, while it might be
Tell me more.
and make people angry, it is not necessarily evidence of family violence that I'm looking at, right? This is not a divorce. This is
Okay. Well, Gwen has put a gun upside my head. The police was called. I have the case number for that.
Hold on. When was that?
That was, I don't know the exact day. My daughter ended up going to jail that day. But I do have the case number. You want the case number?
No, I know. I just need you to tell me around when it happened.
It was in 2022. At the end. It had to be around in December time, 2022.
All right. And
that's when
she
put the gun to my head.
Was Gwendolyn arrested for that?
No, ma'am, because I lied for her. No, ma'am.
Okay. Who was arrested at that time?
Jakaya was arrested because Jakaya told the police that she did push Gwen, so therefore she incriminated herself. But when they went to, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
When they went to, I don't never want to harm Gwendolyn. This never I never want to get her in trouble. I never want to call the police on her. I never do this. But so after Jakaya, they found out, after my kids found out that Jakaya was going to jail, then they started telling the people that Gwen had a gun to my head. The police officer sergeant came out, and I lied to them because I did not want to get Gwen in trouble. So this part of this TPO order, ma'am, I'm the one need the TPO order.
Okay, but ma'am, you have not filed, and it's possible that two parties may be committing violence against each other. So what
I'm not doing nothing to her. I'm not doing nothing to her that she did not provoke me to do.
Okay, so you're saying you didn't do anything to her that she didn't provoke you to do?
No, ma'am, not at all.
Okay.
I don't just wake up starting stuff.
Okay. All right. Is there any other evidence or anything you want me to consider or look at?
I mean, you didn't. I have witness statements and everything, but you say it doesn't matter. Yes. So
no, that's not what I said. What I said is you got to tell me what it is if you've submitted it, and we can pull it up.
It's just different statements of how of what people that lived in the house witnessed.
Okay, so wait a minute. Let me tell you this: witness statements without the witness being here are not generally admissible.
I got a witness.
Okay, who's your witness?
Tatisha.
Is she joined?
Boy.
She should be. She said she's in the waiting room.
I believe it just say Tisha. I'll bring this person.
Okay.
in.
All right. We'll bring her in and swear her in.
Can I get up to put my phone on charger? It's about to go dead.
You may.
Thank you.
Does she have a Ghetto Optimus Prime shirt on? I think so.
If you could just please uncover your camera if it's covered.
You ready?
It just
Here we
says
go.
Tisha on the screen.
Here we go.
You just need to connect your video or uncover it.
It's the
Okay,
best
I'm
part.
trying here. Start video. It says start video. Oh my God.
I'm gonna lose it.
It looks like it's on, but we can't see you. So the camera may be covered. Is it covered?
Oh, you know this. Oh my goodness.
Are you on a computer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you look up at your computer, your little camera might be covered.
Oh, this is a brand new computer and I don't even know what a camera is. I'm so sorry, y'all.
No, it might be at the top or like a
Let me
slide
see.
or a cover.
Oh, no, where is it?
Here it comes. Come on.
Bill cover. So is this something?
All right, I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a brief recess and see if she can get her. Oh, never mind.
Oh my goodness, that's new.
We're
I don't
here.
know.
We're just upside down, but that's okay. All right, ma'am. It's okay. We'll go with you being upside down. Don't worry about it. But can you make it a little bit so your face is on the screen?
Come on.
This is new. Okay.
She does the
Alright.
whole thing upside down.
Okay.
Yeah, you upside down.
There we go. That's good enough. Okay, ma'am, could you please raise your right hand for me?
Yes, ma'am.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, I need the petitioner back on the screen. There we go. All right. Could you state your full name, please, ma'am?
Tatisha McCaster.
All right. And how do you know how do you know both of the petitioner and the respondent in this case?
Well, I know Gwen, Drew, Tanisha, and my nieces and nephew. Tanisha has kids, my brother, so my nieces and nephew family.
Okay, so
Sweet Jesus.
your brother is the father of some children with Tanisha.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. And all right, Miss Tanisha Brockington, you can ask her any questions you have for her.
Okay, Tisha, do you recall that night when Gwen
How funny would it be if change fell out? Like everything fell out of her, started falling out of her pockets real slow.
pulled that gun to my head?
Yes, ma'am.
Was she a witness to this?
Upside down.
I wasn't there, but I was on the phone.
Okay, so you heard some things on the phone
Yes, ma'am. They called me. Yes, ma'am.
while it was going on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What did you hear?
I just basically heard the commotion and the kids, the fighting reaction with the kids, and somebody said she got a gun. So
Was there fighting and then the gun comment was in the middle of the commotion?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Do you have any more?
Can you tell her more incidents that happened between, because she's on the phone all the time. Can you please explain some more incidents that's happening that's not coming straight up to my head that you recall of
Anything you've heard?
that happened over the phone? Can you please?
Well, most of the time, any type of commotion
Ginger.
happens, they do call me, basically about it to try to help de-escalate any situations. I've talked to Gwen, I've talked to Nisi, I've heard things in the background. I've heard the kids being called names. I've heard Nisi being called names. I've been on the phone witness when Gwen has been intoxicated and they're having their little situations that's going on. A lot of time I've been on the phone when the police have been called to the house. Most of the time, Tanisha's been calm in the room. I heard the police when they came out that last time was saying that it wasn't nothing they could really do because they didn't understand what was going
So
on.
hold on. Without
Cynic, that was a good one. Witnesses in Australia.
saying what the police said, just what you've heard and witnessed.
Okay.
You get a slow clap, my
okay,
friend.
I witnessed
We
all
can't
that.
say what the police said or didn't say.
Okay. So basically, I just witnessed the police leaving because there was nothing they would do. There was no fighting at that time. I just witnessed this when she's been into it with the kids a lot. And recently.
So you say both parties have called you at different times to try to de-escalate the situation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any other questions for this witness, Miss Tanisha Brockington?
Oh, no, ma'am.
All right. Gwendolyn Brockington, do you have any specific questions you'd like to ask this witness? You just gotta unmute if you do.
You have heard, Tisha, you have heard a lot of things that was very disrespectful that Tanisha have done to me, correct? You
Yes,
have
both.
heard me, reach out to you to ask her to stop
Yeah,
fighting
you
me.
have.
What she fight me for?
You have called me and said that. I mean, I've never just been around when you all have fought, but you have called me and you discussed some things with me, and we talked about it, and I want to de-escalate that issue. Yes.
Yeah, Tisha. You you always used to tell me why Nisa back there raising hell.
Now I might not say it that because I don't curse, but yeah, why she keep it up for us? Yeah.
Why she's always fussing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you heard it. Of course you're not here because you don't live in Atlanta, you're in Mississippi, but you have always heard the commotion.
Yeah,
And
and I've
you like,
always heard.
what's going on now? Y'all just need to just break up. Y'all need to just leave it alone. Am I correct?
Yeah, I've said things like that. Yeah, I've always been. Yeah, both of y'all call me, and I do hear things that are going on from both parties, though. You know.
And that's the point I'm at. I just want to let it go. I've been at peace.
Okay, hold
I
on. This
wanna
isn't the time
continue
to
that peace.
testify. This isn't the time to testify. Just questions. Do you have any more questions for her?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you. All right, any more questions for her, Miss Tanisha Brockington?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You are excused. You may log off and just close out. Not sure what button will show for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Miss Tanisha Brockington, do you have any other questions or any witnesses or evidence you would like to present?
No, all the evidence I presented, I presented all mine. I mean, I sent all mine in.
Okay, well, remember what I said.
Oh yeah,
Send
you
it.
said it.
You
You
got to
just
bring
sent
it
it.
up to my attention if it's something that you
Oh,
want.
it's like it's my kids' witnesses. I have my kids, my cousins.
But they're not present, right? Those are just statements or something that they signed.
No, my kids was present.
No, but I mean, they're not here today to testify.
Oh no, ma'am. They just wrote. No, ma'am. They're at school.
Okay, so that's what I was saying. So, do you have anything other than witness statements from people who aren't here that you would like the court to consider?
No, I don't.
Okay, all right. So since it's the petitioner's burden, she's going to have a chance to let me know what you would like me, what else you would like me to know based on the evidence that the respondent presented.
You talking to me?
No, ma'am, I'm talking to Gwendolyn. Do you have any, based on what she has said and what her witnesses have said, is there anything else you would like to address with the court?
With the gun situation, that was a whole lie. And that's all I want to say.
Okay. Okay. All right. So it sounds like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of volatility, but this is petitioned today by the petitioner against the respondent. And I do find that there have been recent acts of family violence by a preponderance of the evidence. So I am going to issue an order. It will be in effect from today and will expire on April 26th of 2024. The petitioner will be awarded the exclusive possession of the residence. And the respondent will stay away from the petitioner's residence, workplace, and school, and any future residence or workplace and school, and not come within 100 yards of them or have any contact with them. Is there anything remaining at the residence in belongings necessary belongings that you need to get that will not be addressed in a family court case, Madam Ms. Tanisha? Can you tell me what those items may be so we can make sure and I can address that? Hold on, let me take you off mute. There you go. You just need to touch the button. There we go. What do you have?
My furniture, my clothes, just my furniture, my clothes, my stuff.
All right. So here's what I'm going to give you a chance. Let's see, what's today's date? All right, just to make sure there's enough time. You will get a chance on or before May 15th.
Okay.
You will be given an opportunity, and it has to be arranged in advance with law enforcement. There'll be a phone number on there, so there's no future allegations or incidents, right? So everything can go smoothly. Now, they're not gonna do the moving for you. So they'll set up
It's
the
okay. I
escort,
got
right?
somebody to do my
You see what I'm
stuff.
saying? They'll do the escort, and then they'll be there to make sure everything goes smoothly. And then you can get your belongings. I just want to make sure it's you said furniture and clothing. Is there any
Furniture,
disputed
clothing.
furniture and clothing, or are you clear, Gwendolyn Brockington, are you clear on what those
You
items?
clear what's mine?
Hold on, let me make sure. Let me make sure. Gwendolyn Brockington, you there? You clear on the furniture and clothing items that are hers?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to unmute it. Yeah, it's just a bedroom set and her clothes and stuff, but I would have them packed for her. So,
Well,
know.
I'm gonna say y'all, because the other thing.
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
Like I said, there's also gonna be the condition, and I understand there has been an allegation, but I'm not, any issues with people complying with the orders would have to be addressed in this, going forward from this order. I will leave the parties are not to sell, encumbered, trade, damage any of the joint property of the parties or the petitioners. Okay.
Can I ask you a question? She already did that.
Well, that said joint property. So was the dog a joint property?
It was my dog.
Okay.
And clearly,
So hold on. So that's something that's either going to have to be addressed in small claims court or in the family court case.
But that you're telling what you just said that none of this can be happen until this date, right?
So I'm saying going forward.
I need to understand.
So ma'am, okay, I am issuing this order. This is the order that's in place. Anybody can file a contempt motion if they believe something has been done incorrectly. Let me ask you this, petitioner. I'm going to unmute you just to be sure.
Okay.
All right. Whose dog is it?
I purchased the dog for her for Valentine's Day. I purchased.
Was this while y'all were married?
Yeah, there was just like a week before Valentine's. But the papers on the dog, it wasn't clear.
Okay, so here's the thing. Somebody is going to need to file for divorce and have the property addressed through that. Y'all are legally married. The property will be handled. Any dispute as to whose property was whose and who may have wrongfully gotten rid of property will be addressed in the divorce court. Okay.
Gotcha.
I will tell you going forward, you should both probably talk to attorneys and they can give you the best idea how to handle any disputed property going forward. As far as the respondent's clothing and furniture, those items should not be damaged or gotten rid of. Okay. Any joint property is not to be messed with and should be dealt with in the family court order or in family court via a divorce. Now, that could be an issue, but at this point, since I'm issuing the 12-month order at this point, I'm not going to rule on the dog. But that can be brought up in the family court divorce case. Okay. Additionally, it sounds like the utilities aren't going to be an issue, but neither party shall interfere with the other party's mail. I would encourage a change of address at some point so that you don't have to worry about that. And in the meantime, any further mail can be retrieved at the same time as that property is. Okay. I will order the family violence intervention program. The first compliance date will be May 26th. We will place you in a room with the compliance officer to discuss that. And ma'am, I do want to ask, are you undergoing current mental health therapy? Because that could be an additional or an alternative possibility. Tanisha?
What are you talking about?
I'm asking if you're undergoing current mental health treatment and evaluation. There were indications.
Explain that. Because I take my medicine. Explain that.
Okay, so I'm just going to order the family violence intervention program at this time. That'll be it.
That's fine.
And while this order is in effect, you are not allowed to own a firearm under federal law. Now, this is what I'm going to say. I don't really have authority here. This is a petition about her against you. Y'all do not share that 17-year-old. There can be other consequences in other forms, such as family and children's services or criminal charges for leaving a child in a situation where they do not have a legal guardian with them. So I'm going to leave it at that and highly encourage that any children who are still minors, y'all talk to attorneys about how to handle that, because the minor should really be living with a legal guardian, and if not, it can present other problems. Okay. But I do not address custody in this order because the petitioner has no legal custody of that child, it sounds like. So at this point, that's going to be the court's order. If you don't get a copy of it, you can contact the clerk's office if one is not emailed to you in about a day or two. And we will place you in the breakout room, ma'am. Ms. Tanisha and Gwendolyn Brockington, you are free to sign off.
Okay. So, we got time for one more clip. I wasn't going to play it, but I just have to because it is just so good. We have to watch it. Let's do it. Judge Rhea Perlman never disappoints. Let's go.
Thank you.
It is fantastic. That was a good TPO too. That was a really good TPO, wasn't it?
Hey, you got court today. You want to do this?
What an upside down case. You're a jerk.
You got court today. You want this? Okay. Let me turn this around. Go.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Stitt.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine.
All right. And we are here on 2A05235262, 2A057494, 2A05474797, 3A0147516, 3A0178749, and 3A0275040. There are two cause numbers on the.
Yeah, the 516 matter is a review, but that's the most recent one, and he was just arraigned on that one.
There's actually two that are in pretrial status.
Oh, there are? Oh, 516 is really a pretrial? Okay. Okay, that was my mistake when I did the order. Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Stitt is asking this court to accept the plea of guilty as charged with the 5040 matter there, and then on the court's acceptance of the plea, the city is moving to dismiss the more recent 516 matter. I did go over the plea form with Mr. Stitt. I went over the rights he's giving up. I went over the immigration consequences. I did provide him a copy of the plea form as well that he has there with him, so he can follow along with Your Honor. We are asking the court to accept this plea.
Ms. Chen Weller, does the city make that motion?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it was the other way around, but that's fine. Yes.
Motion's granted contingent upon acceptance of the plea. So Mr. Stitt, I have a document here entitled Statement of Defendant on Plea of Guilty. Towards the bottom of it, on the line that says defendant's signature, there's no signature there. Have you not signed it yet just because you had no way to sign it?
Correct.
If you had had a way to sign it, would you have signed it?
Correct.
SCORE will give you a chance to sign it after this hearing. Do you promise to sign it at that time?
Yes.
When you reviewed this form with Mr. Iannotti, did he read it to you? Did you read it by yourself, or did you read it together?
All three.
And was he able to answer any questions that you had?
Yes. He was
As
able.
I review this form with you, please stop me at any time if you'd like to ask him another question. Is your true and correct name Robert Kennedy Stitt?
Correct.
And you're 33 years old and have completed more than the 12th grade?
Correct.
You're pleading guilty to the crime of criminal trespass in the first degree. Do you understand the elements of that crime? In other words, what the city would have to prove if you were to take this to trial?
I understand.
By entering into this plea, you're giving up a number of very important constitutional rights. Among these are the right to a speedy and public trial, to remain silent during that trial, or to choose to testify, to see, hear, and question witnesses who would testify against you, to have witnesses testify on your behalf at no expense to you, to the presumption of innocence unless and until a jury were to find you guilty, and to appeal a finding of guilt. Do you understand you're giving up all those rights?
Correct.
Criminal trespass in the first degree is a gross misdemeanor punishable by up to 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. Is that your understanding?
Correct.
I know your attorney and the city attorney have an agreed recommendation, but the court does not have to follow that and can sentence you anywhere up to the maximum. Is that your understanding?
I understand.
Do you understand in the event you're not a citizen, a guilty finding on this charge may be grounds for deportation, denial of naturalization, or exclusion from the United States?
I understand.
Did anyone make any promises to you to get you to enter into this plea?
No.
Did anyone make any threats to get you to enter into this plea?
No.
Are you doing this of your own free will?
Correct.
In paragraph 11, there's a statement that reads, on March 9th, 2023 in Ctac, Washington, at the Ctac Airport, Port of Seattle, I knowingly entered and remained in the airport without lawful authority to be there. I know your attorney wrote that statement, but do you adopt it as your own?
Correct.
Is it a true statement?
It is.
As to the crime of criminal trespass in the first degree, how do you plea?
Guilty.
I will accept the plea. I do believe it's knowingly, voluntarily, intelligently made, and there's a factual basis to support it. Ms. Chen Weller, do you have anything to add to the sentencing recommendation? If you could address the reviews as well.
Thank you. It is an agreed recommendation, and it has 44 days credit for time served. And the recommendation on the reviews is 44 days in custody with 44 days credit for time served concurrent. Again, it's a situation where a city would be forced to recommend substantially more jail time if there are violations and if the defendant returns to the airport. Again, kind of at a loss what to do with this defendant. The crisis coordinator reported that she and an outreach worker met with some individuals, including Mr. Stead, yesterday, because I had reported to her that Mr. Stith represented to the court on the 20th for 2023 that he was open to services, and the court had indicated very glad to hear that naturally. And she met with him yesterday and reported back he was adamant he did not want services, even though she reminded him that he represented to the court that he would cooperate at this point, and he'd probably be asked about that again today. Yeah, and it looks like, because when I had reported to her after the 20th that he indicated he was interested in services, previous to that, he had adamantly declined services. So then again, he adamantly declined it yesterday.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Iannotti?
I did not discuss that with Mr. Stitt, but this is an agreed recommendation. Mr. Stitt is not currently working. He's not getting government assistance. And perhaps Mr. Stitt can answer the question as to why is he declining services when they came, if he wants to, or would you like to talk to me about that separately, Mr. Stitt?
It's not a big deal. I reviewed what they had to offer, and I decided not to take it yesterday. Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I still have. Well, I had it. Was Mr. Naw? He's still, in the building, so I can still always get more help, But I decided to decline their offer for an apartment. It's just not something I wanted to do.
So if I follow this recommendation, you'll be out today.
Correct.
So where are you gonna go?
I do have a life outside of the site work. I always go to the library. I still have friends. I still have family. There's still a whole 24 hours. I'm, within a day before anything happens. I know because I come here all the time. It looks like, I don't have no life outside of here. But like I said, the way my life is scheduled and the way the airport is sometimes set up, that they just arrest me as soon as they see me without giving me a chance. Sometimes not everyone's gonna run when they see an officer, while you're walking through the airport going to another location. So every officer is different. Not every time, I'm getting arrested while I'm sitting, so there's been several different cases or instances, but I do have stuff that I do like to do other than being arrested, so yeah. But as far as a life plan, it wouldn't be in Federal Way or Seattle, as far as getting an apartment or anything like that.
So where would it be?
I'm not really sure at this point. I would just have to keep figuring it out,
Okay, so one thing I hear you saying is that you are going back to the airport frequently.
Correct.
You can't go to the airport. That's a violation of this court's order. It's a violation of your multiple trespass admonishments from the airport.
Correct.
You cannot go back there.
Here it comes.
At all, for any reason at all, except if you have a ticket to fly somewhere.
Got it.
But like, I hear you saying that, and every time I talk to you about this, you agree with me, like, oh yes, I can't, I understand. And then you've just told me that you go back there all the time.
Right. Well, it's transportation. It's where the trains are, in the buses.
Well, it's not. The trains are in the light rail station.
Right.
It's attached, but it's not the airport. You don't have to go into the airport, the light rail.
There's nowhere to go, so, unless you want to be raped at night or something, and that's something that I don't want.
But I guess, why are you putting yourself in a position?
I'm not putting myself in there. There's nowhere to go, man. Where would you want me to go? It's 12, it's 1 and 2 o'clock at night. Where would you go if you were homeless?
I wouldn't be at the airport in the first
place.
Right.
You've never been in that situation, so you don't know.
Yeah, and I also don't spend time in SCORE.
Say again?
I also don't go to jail.
Bingo.
Right. And I did my time. Let's not forget. Right.
So I also heard Ms. Chenweller saying that if you're arrested again, she's going to ask for
He does his hair
significantly
back.
more jail.
I understand that, and I'm competent to understand.
I know you're competent.
Thank
and yet
you.
you keep coming back.
Let's not act
No,
like
Mr. Stiff, I'm kind of being harsh with you because I don't
No,
want
it's
that.
fine, but you don't understand. So I'm telling you, as a Black man, as a white woman who's never been on the streets before, you don't get it. So some things I can't communicate to you because you don't understand. So let's get
you're
that.
absolutely right. Let's
get that.
Mr. Stiff, you're completely right. You're absolutely right.
You don't get it. There's nothing to do at 10, 11, and 12 o'clock. So you ain't out there. I'm out there.
Well, I also heard you just had an offer of an apartment and turned it down.
No, thank you. There's a reason.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to follow the agreed recommendation, but Mr. Stiff, I really don't want you back here.
I understand that. But like I said,
I know you've got more to give than this.
Right.
With regard to the sentencing matter, that's the case ending in 040, 364 days in jail with 304 suspended, 44 days credit for time served, $5,000 fine, all 5,000 suspended. The court is taking 24 months of jurisdiction. I'm making the finding that you're indigent per se by virtue of the fact you receive government benefits and not by virtue of the fact you have no income and not imposing any fines, fees, costs, or assessment. For the next 24 months, you need to attend any future court appearances, have no new criminal law violations, no contact with Ctac International Airport or the rental car facility except for valid travel purposes. Valid travel purposes mean airport travel purposes, having a ticket to fly, not waiting for the bus. And update your address with the court and DOL immediately if there are any changes. Can you still receive mail at the address on Southeast 151st Street in Renton?
13303, I believe so.
And then turning to the reviews, I'm again following the recommendation and revoking 44 days on each case with 44 days credit per time served.
Time served!
So you'll be released on all those matters today.
Thank you.
Bravo, Ctac does it again. That was the clip of the day. OMG, I told you. And I also said that I was never going to get my girlfriend on camera, and I got her on camera. We got her. We got her. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. I hope everyone had fun to take your kid to work day. Make sure you give everybody a kiss. Don't go to bed angry with your loved ones. God bless. I love you all. And make sure you go check out Kit. She's going on at 10 and she's monetized, people. You have been served.